It is All Hallows Eve, my fellow fetchers. It is that time of year when the veil between our world and the next world, which is Oblivion then. Sovngarde? The testing hall? Who cares? Dragon Age. The Veil Guard is out today unless it got some last-second delay. If it did, my apologies. This was filmed a decade ago. I mean, obviously not, it was a joke, don't get mad. Okay, so I got that intro out of the way. I think I nailed it. Dagoth had a terrible time hosting his Halloween special last year, so I guess it's my turn. I decided to peer back into the past and look at the scariest video game-related stories. I'm gonna keep this fairly brief. I have some trick or treating to do. I don't care if I'm in my 200s, I still trick or treat. I just hope I get more than some slowed soap and salt rice this year. A few years back, I went trick-or-treating around some shady areas of Balmora, and all I got was some moon sugar from this weird old guy and skooma from various different Dunmer. I was not happy. I wanted a sweet roll and some Valenwood hot cocoa. That's blood and sinew mixed together in a brew for the uninitiated. You know us Bosmer, such quirky cannibals. But anyway, down to business. Let's start off with Lavender Town. I think Dagoth covered the song last year, but I'm here to cover the story, which I think Dagoth also covered. Can I call him Vorin? I think we're on a first-name basis now. Oh, great, a call from Dagoth. I'm not answering that. So, Lavender Town. Back in the days of the early Pokemon games, there was a town called Lavender. I'm really stretching to reach the word count here. This isn't a college essay, Fargoth. It's okay. Just do your best. So in the town of Purple Flower Scents, there was a Cubone who wore the skull of his mother. How very Bosmery of him. See, it was a Pokemon graveyard, and the music was unsettling to kids. So unsettling that there were rumors that kids would unalive themselves in response to this haunting haunter of a tune. Yes, Fargoth knows the algorithm for YouTube. I'm hip and cool. And I can make Pokemon puns too. I Sudowoodo make another pun. That didn't work. I Bidoof you farewell. Okay, back on topic. In the early 2010s, a bit before Skyrim came out probably, this story, or creepypasta if you will, became very popular. It became so popular that it became a meme, and it became so memetic that it was added to the Criterion Collection and Library of Congress because of its artistic contribution to society. That sounds far-fetched, get it, but I think it's true. Okay, maybe not, but whatever. So did this music make children contemplate committing an act in which YouTube... I'm dancing around it, but I can't think of a word that sounds better than unalive. Ooh, that they zero-summed themselves from existence. Dwemer poofed themselves from Mundus. That works for me. The answer is no, they didn't. That's it. That's the story. Moving on. Okay, so Ben drowned. So we all know, The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask is a creepy game. I mean, that moon thing is terrifying. It even gets me when I summon it as an assist trophy in Smash Ultimate. The game is haunted even without this creepy pasta. In the story, a college student buys an old copy of Majora's Mask. He begins to slowly go insane after attempting some glitch on an old save file he finds with the copy. He believes it is possessed by some kid named Ben who drowned or something, thus the name of the creepy pasta being Ben Drowned. Great logic by me. It was adapted into an Oscar-winning film starring Josh Peck and Selena Gomez in 2012. Yeah, where did I read that? I don't think that's right. That has to be scariest aspect of my research into this. It was so inspirational that, fun fact that might be false, Breath of the Wild was almost called Ben of the Wild. Can you imagine? So yeah, Ben Drowned is a classic. Also, are Hylians just wood elves from another dimension? I want to believe that's the case. Oh, and Tingle is the best Zelda character by far. He's my spirit animal. I guess we should wrap this up with one last story. It's not a story you've probably heard before. It's an old myth about my hometown, Seda Neen. Is it even my hometown? I really don't know. I think I'm from Valenwood, actually. You start up a new game of Morrowind. The cutscene glitches and you decide to skip it. Jube greets you. Jube tells you that Ben drowned in Lavender Town and that Peach's castle in Mario 64 is liminal and that the game is unsettling. He then calls you a stupid Noir who should get off this ship right now, and that the voices are calling to you. Confused, you enter your name. You enter Ben drowned for fun, but the game rejects it. A message comes up saying, "How about calling yourself Noir?" You accept, a little terrified about what's going on. You get off the ship, but the game crashes. You hear the faint whisper of, "It just works." 3 little haunting words that you feel are embedded into your skull. You realize it's late and that you should go to bed. But you decide not to, and start up Morrowind again, but it crashes again. You start Morrowind in administrator mode, but it crashes again. You try to look for a fix online, rewrite the entire INI file because that's what the internet said, but it crashes again. It just keeps crashing. It just works. Well, in this case, it actually doesn't, Todd, the false god. Yes, I say it too, not just Mr. Howard. You fall asleep in your epic gaming chair. Epic as in the company, not the adjective. And you have strange nightmares. The face of Todd, pay for this mod. Howard haunts your dreams. He speaks backwards, every once in a while muttering about 16 times the detail, and how Starfield will get 6,000 expansions before the release of Blades 2. You even hear him say that he doubts the Elder Scrolls 6 will come out this century. You wake up, you were dreaming, but what's your name? It's Jube, but you're not playing Morrowind. And you don't know your name. Yes, you just can't seem to place it. Jube is right there in your sick gaming lair. He's eating Doritos and has poured himself a Mountain Dew. Jube opens a door, which should lead into a hallway, but it leads to the Satanine dock. Curious, terrified, and wondering if that gamer fuel you had earlier was somehow spiked, you proceed through the door. You're in Satanine, but the Imperial Guard who greets you has the face of Todd the God. He says nothing at first. There is just cold silence. He then suddenly tells you to jump into the water because Ben drowned. Creeped out and burnt out with the Ben drowned references, you decide to oblige him. Why defy a gaming god? The water is cold and slaughterfish quickly surround you. You hear Todd laugh and say, "See that ocean, you can swim it. See that water, you can drown in it." Gasping for air, you realize you're drowning. Also realizing you're now the protagonist in a creepypasta, you realize this won't end well for you and that you're sick and tired of how cliched and drawn out this is getting. Better drown at this stage. So you do. You drowned. As Todd's face blurs and everything fades to black, you get a sick feeling in your stomach. This doesn't feel like the end, but instead, a new horrifying beginning. You wake up. Were you dreaming? What was your name? Was it Noir? Was it Ben? Was it Cubone? Was it Mario 64? Was it Five Nights at Freddy's? Was it the Backrooms? Was it... You get the point. You see Jube once again, but the room is different. You're in Caius Kozadi's house, but the old moon sugar smoker is nowhere to be seen. You turn around and see a default Fortnite character flossing for a brief moment before you find yourself falling into an empty void. You keep falling, and the frame rate is dropping too. You hit the ground and see Todd's face. He says, "You're stuck here now, forever. Why did you give us all those negative reviews? Blade's microtransactions were fine. Why did you claim to like Starfield and then critique its exploration? Why did you say that handcrafted quests are better than endless procedural content? Why? Tell me why, you milk drinker." Todd pauses for a brief, terrifying moment before blurting out, "Remember, it just works." Todd smiles, and you let out a blood-curdling scream. Happy Halloween Noirs.